The galaxy had erased hundreds of civilizations long before humanity ever realized it was being watched. Species rose, expanded, resisted, and vanished so completely that only data fragments remained in alien archives. War was a science to the galaxy. Power crushed weakness. Fear ended resistance. Time always favored the conqueror. When humans finally stepped beyond their home system, the observers were confident. Humanity was divided, emotional, loud, and inefficient. Their technology lagged behind. Their politics were unstable. Their fleets were slow and badly coordinated. Every known model reached the same conclusion: if war ever came, humans would break quickly. They always broke themselves first. No one planned for anything else. The first strikes were precise and merciless. Human border colonies went dark within hours. Orbital stations burned before evacuation orders could finish transmitting. Trade routes collapsed overnight. To the Galactic Coalition, it looked like a textbook collapse. Human governments argued publicly. Fleets withdrew in confusion. Entire systems were abandoned without a fight. Analysts updated their charts and confidently predicted surrender within months. The war had barely begun, and already it seemed over. But the surrender never came. Weeks passed. Then months. Human space did not send pleas. No ambassadors arrived begging for mercy. No broadcasts promised obedience. Instead, something deeply unsettling happened. Humanity went quiet. Fleets retreated deeper, not randomly, but deliberately. They stopped trying to protect everything. They chose what to lose. To the galaxy, it looked like fear. To humans, it was survival. Human commanders studied every defeat. Every wreck was analyzed. Every loss was recorded and shared across networks within hours. Pilots uploaded combat footage. Engineers tore apart captured alien weapons and rebuilt them using human logic: simpler, rougher, harder to disable. Humans did not copy alien technology. They adapted it to fail less often. Retreat was not collapse. It was selection. When alien fleets advanced again, expecting a final push, they met resistance that made no sense. Supply convoys vanished in empty space. Communication relays exploded without warning. Patrol ships were ambushed by vessels too small to classify as threats and too numerous to track. There were no grand battles to celebrate. No decisive victories. Just constant pressure. Losses that never stopped. Humans stopped fighting like a traditional military. Large fleets broke into scattered groups. Civilian ships became decoys. Cargo haulers were armored and armed. Anything that could move could be used. Anything that could distract the enemy was valuable. The humans were not trying to win battles. They were trying to stay alive long enough to learn. The coalition escalated. More ships. Heavier weapons. Entire armadas deployed to crush resistance in a single overwhelming blow. This had ended every war before. It did not end this one. Humans dispersed even further. They hid factories inside asteroids. They moved cities underground. They abandoned surface worlds entirely rather than lose their people. Territory became meaningless. Survival became everything. Human civilians became part of the war without ever touching a weapon. Freighters carried refugees instead of goods. Medical ships never stopped moving. Entire generations grew up knowing evacuation alarms better than lullabies. There were no victory speeches. No promises that the war would end soon. Humans stopped asking when it would be over. They asked only one question instead. Can we survive one more day? And every day, the answer was yes. Years passed. The war did not end. It slowed. And that frightened the galaxy more than defeat ever could. Alien empires were built for fast domination. Their economies were designed for short campaigns and clear victories. Endless resistance drained them in ways they had never prepared for. Resources thinned. Supply lines stretched. Political unity fractured. Leaders argued. Some demanded total annihilation. Others demanded withdrawal. Confidence eroded. For the first time in recorded history, alien commanders faced an enemy that did not react correctly. Humans did not collapse under pressure. They adapted to it. Fear did not paralyze them. Loss did not end their will. The more they suffered, the harder they became to predict. Strategists began referring to humanity as a problem without a solution. Intercepted human communications only made things worse. There were no speeches about honor or conquest. No promises of revenge. Only short, quiet messages between units. Still holding. We're alive. See you tomorrow. Those words spread unease faster than any weapon. They revealed the truth the galaxy had missed. Humans were not fighting to win quickly. They were fighting to outlast everyone else. Human society reshaped itself around endurance. Comfort was abandoned without hesitation. Ships were repaired again and again, scars left visible. Scrap became spare parts. Nothing was wasted. Soldiers rotated not because the war ended, but because exhaustion killed faster than enemy fire. Children grew up understanding that survival itself was success. Humanity did not grow stronger in the way the galaxy respected. It grew tougher. Decades passed. The coalition gained systems, then lost interest in holding them. Every advance cost more than it gave. Every human world taken became a drain. Humanity did not chase retreating fleets. They did not declare victory. They simply remained. Unbroken. Still present. Still breathing. Still fighting when necessary and disappearing when not. Eventually, the withdrawal happened quietly. No grand announcements. No public admissions of failure. Fleets simply stopped advancing. Borders stabilized. The war faded without a final battle. Humanity did not celebrate. There were no parades. Too much had been lost for that. But humanity endured. And that was something the galaxy could not ignore. From that day forward, human space was marked differently on star charts. Not as conquered territory. Not as an enemy empire. But as a warning. The galaxy finally understood the mistake it had made. Humans were never the strongest species. They were never the most advanced. They were not fearless or united or perfect. But they were stubborn beyond reason. They did not measure success by territory gained or enemies destroyed. They measured it by survival. Power decides battles. Technology decides engagements. But time decides wars. And time belonged to the species that refused to stop. The galaxy had prepared for a war of force. What it encountered instead was a species that treated survival itself as victory. Humanity proved, to the horror of those who watched, that it could endure anything long enough for its enemies to give up first.